NFT blue chips. What are they? What makes a blue chip? We're going to cover all of that and more tonight. I am Philip Kalinko. This is Morland.
You got it right.
I'm
You
so
got it
surprised I got
right.
it right.
You got it
It threw
right.
me off. This is Ethan Mount, and that is Ethan Mount, and this is the NFT show.
How are you doing, Philip?
Yeah, man, I've missed you. Two
Yeah, it's
days.
been 2 days. We haven't been on the show together. Things are good.
Things are good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Excited for today's show.
Yeah, me too. It's a great one. We're going to be talking about the blue chips in the space. I think it's important, before NFT world, if you look at the stock exchange and you hear blue chip, it means, a company that has a proven track record over decades, where the risk is minuscule that anything will happen. I mean, we do know the too big to fail movement and all that happened with that crash. But in the end of the day, I mean, a blue chip stock is a blue chip stock, and in the NFT space, we do know that a day is a week, a week is a month, and a month is a year, and that's really true. And so too is the same with these projects, right? So in the end of the day, if you do have a project that's been around longer than 6 months, has been able to maintain a relatively stable floor price, has really good founders and a good project behind it, and has a good amount of Ethereum that's been traded. I'm talking about tens of thousands of ETH. They are considered NFT blue chips. Okay, so it's different to a blue chip company. It's an NFT blue chip project, right? And that's what we're referring to tonight. So I do think this is a good time to say that the NFT space is incredibly risky. Even blue chips can fluctuate in price wildly, and even blue chips could fail. We don't know. So always be careful. Always, only play with money that you can really live without. And yeah, so let's jump into it. I think if we would be remiss not to start with Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Bored Ape Yacht Club is a blue chip NFT project. I'm not going to say in my opinion, but throughout the show. But I mean, I don't think we can deny this. You look here, they've got a collection of 10,000 items, 63% ownership ratio, a floor price of 98 Ethereum, almost 400,000 Ethereum traded. And if you have a look, anyone who's not familiar with Bored Apes, this is them. And if you have one, you are very well respected. If this is your PFP, you are known that you have a Bored Ape, that you were early to the space, or that you have a whole lot of money and that you were able to spend 100 ETH if you were late to the space. Either way, you get respect. If we look at the activity over all time, you can see that the absolute high that it ever hit was 127 Ethereum about 2 weeks ago. I mean, this is a graph, Morland. What do you think? This is what you want to see. Look how, if you take a ruler and just draw a line, it is going up the whole time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's outliers, but I mean, that's a constant going up. And in my opinion, long term, it's going to continue going up. Obviously,
they just got a $4 billion evaluation as a company, right? So
yeah,
that's billion with a B. Like that's a lot of money. So yeah, you just can sort of see. It looks like the New York Stock Exchange, like always up and to the right. It's crazy.
Yeah. And in the end of the day, that's what you want to see from these. Obviously, there can be fluctuations of any. I mean, we've seen it's gone from 130 ETH to 100 ETH. That will happen, but we're talking medium to long term. This is as safe as it gets. It's a lot of money, but to put at risk if you're buying in now. But remember, these minted at 0.08, if you can imagine that. And very interesting how they stayed flat for almost 2 solid months. And I always say, guys, if you're buying into projects that you trust, you got to stay in for at least 3 months. If you've done your research, you're happy with the project, because it takes time. before mint, you are just preparing for mint, and there's a lot to prepare for. Then once you minted, you are so tired and so worn out. You need a few days to recover, and then you start building the project, right? So it's really a story here. I mean, imagine if you minted 10 and got bored in the first month and thought, "Where's my return?" and sold all 10. I mean, that I probably jumped off a building somewhere, you know.
Yeah. You'd see the first that big upswing there, right in the middle of the graph. No, just right to the left a little more. Right there, like that first huge swing in the graph. That'd be where they'd be really kicking themselves, I think.
For
Like,
sure.
but at the end of the day, profit is profit. So
100%. And then, these guys then launched, gave as a free airdrop when the price was around 7 or 8 Ethereum. The Bored Ape Kennel Club was given as a free airdrop. You literally woke up one morning, and not only had your ape increased from a floor of 4 to a floor of 6 overnight, but you got yourself a kennel club, a free kennel club in your wallet. And these are those guys. I've never seen them at such a high floor price. They have come down like everything else in the last couple of days. They went as high as 12, which is incredible. But again, a lot of guys got these and sold them from the beginning. They're not my cup of tea visually, but yeah, they are part of the Bored Ape family. And then you have your famous mutants, right? 18,000 units, 12,000 owners, just shy of 18 Ethereum floor price, also down off the 25 high. We're finding that across the board at the moment for the most part. But again, Ethereum is doing the same thing. Is also down. It's also up. The opposite thing is also up about 25%, right? So on ETH terms, you're pretty much equal. 244,000 volume traded, man. And remember, this collection is a lot newer than the Bored Apes. It started only in the middle of November, bro, which is quite incredible. And then the nice thing about this is that I just want to show you here, both the mutant and the Bored Ape is going to be getting the token. So a lot of people can't afford this type of entry over here into the at 100 Ethereum, but they can afford an 18 ETH entry, and if they can, this is your chance to be a part of the mutant at the Bored Ape Yacht Club family. And mutants have really, really come into their own and are also well respected in the space. So that is the Bored Ape Yacht Club, ladies and gentlemen. Morland, anything you want to add?
No, just I feel like if you're in NFTs, everyone knows Bored Ape. At some point, these are going to be a household name. Like when I talk to my friends that don't know NFTs, I always start off by saying, "Well, have you heard of Bored Ape Yacht Club?" And a lot of them actually say no, but I really do think that this is going to be the first one that like everyone will know. Oh yeah, okay, the monkeys, right? The cartoon monkeys. Like it's going to be here forever. As long as this NFT thing keeps on rolling, these guys are going to be leading the charge, right?
For sure.
They were the first, well, not the first to do it, because we're going to talk about the real first to do it, but really just the first ones to see this just progressive, like up and to the right graph, continually growing, continually delivering. And like I said earlier, they have a $4 billion evaluation as a business. Like, that's huge. It
Yeah.
just as starting out as just selling some JPEGs to becoming $1 billion, valued at $4 billion. It's wild.
It's incredible. Just before we jump into CryptoPunks, which are the real OGs, we should have actually started with CryptoPunks. It's my fault. Before we jump into CryptoPunks, I guess we're starting with the highest floor price, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And I just want to say one thing about mutants that you do need to be aware of. There are 3 different levels of mutants: an M1, an M2, and an M3, which is not showing here because there's obviously none for sale. The M3 is the most rare and most valuable by far. The M2s are generally more rare and valuable than the M1s, right? So you can see here that with the M1 traits, you got 1,797 M1 yellow, 1,700, 1,700. And when you get to M2, all of a sudden there's only 580 yellow and 547 gray, right? So they are rarer. However, there are some M1 traits that are more sought after than a floor M2. So it's not as simple as that, but if you're just going for supply size and rarity, the M3s are the rarest by far, and they fetch a lot of money. Then you got the M2s, and then you've got the M1s, but the M2s and M1s, you got to look into the traits as well.
Yeah. I like the having of like different traits, different levels of traits, kind of gamifies the collecting of it. And like if you may not like any of the M2 traits and you just want an M1, or you may not care at all and go for something that's on the floor, right? So it adds that sort of collecting aspect to it, right?
Yeah,
along with
sure.
pretty much any other NFT, but having the different levels is kind of cool as well.
I think from an investment perspective, if there was hypothetically an M2 at the same, an entry level M2 at the same price as a more visually appealing M1 or sought after trait M1, from a purely investment perspective, I would go for the M2 because
Yeah, people will
they
see,
are rarer. There
and
are
people will
less of them.
see later if you try and as an investment flip it, people will see,
Yeah.
oh, this is an M2, and just think, okay, that's more rare. Yeah, I'll pay what they want me to pay.
With that said, the guys aping into this now, aping into Bored Apes now, a lot of them don't know the difference between M1. A lot of them are
Yeah, they
like
just
these
want it.
celebrities or whatever. They've just heard about it. They just want it for the status symbol or whatever. To
Mhm.
them, it makes no difference. So it might be easier to flip an M1 because that's going to be a lower priced one than it would be to get rid of an M2. I'm not sure. But I do think long term, from an investment perspective, obviously compared to 1,500 or 1,700 yellow M1s, I would rather have one of the 540 whatever yellow M2s from a
Right.
purely investment perspective.
Yeah, good insight.
Thank
All
you.
right. On to CryptoPunks, the OG of NFTs, really. These were so the first ones ever really made, right? They're the first generative NFTs created. They're the OG PFP project, and have just sold for millions and millions of dollars. They don't have as crazy of activity as the Mutants do or the Bored Apes do, but the sales that do happen are pretty crazy. So like these are really basic artwork, guys. People aren't buying them for, maybe they are buying it for the artwork, but really it's the reason they're so valued is because of that historical significance, right? And if we jump over to their OpenSea page, they don't even list the floor price on OpenSea. I'm not exactly sure why, because there are people selling them. I feel like they buy through their own marketplace. But if you just look in the last 7 days, there was 3 sales yesterday, and the average price was 73 Ethereum. So big money, lots of money being put into this, but they don't have the crazy amounts of volume, right? Like each day there's 2 sales on the 15th, 5 sales on the 14th, but that's not what people are buying this as a blue chip, as a long-term hold investment. They're not buying this to flip. Visa bought a CryptoPunk to add to their holdings, right? So that's what this is looked at in the NFT space. This is looked as a long-term investment, right? So I mean, not a lot of people have this kind of money. So the people that are buying into CryptoPunks are fairly ultra wealthy that want to protect their capital in some way, right? So like literally the definition of a blue chip. So um, again, there's 10,000 of them. There's only 3,500 holders, but if you look at their all-time trading volume, that's pretty crazy. 842,000 Ethereum traded all time. So really, when you think of blue chip NFT, it's either CryptoPunks or Bored Apes. Those are the ones that really come to my mind when somebody says blue chip. Um, I mean, if you've got the money and you want to grab one of these, I don't think it would be a horrible investment. But again, do your own research.
Yeah, so I mean, there was a $25 million sale the other day of one of the alien punks, which there's only 9 of. And that makes news all around the world. The other thing with regards to these that's important to realize is there has been a lot of drama regarding the IP rights. So whereas with Bored Ape, you own your ape, you can commercialize your ape, you can have it as your logo, you can do what you want with it. With Lava Labs here, with CryptoPunks, that has been a big bone of contention. You have not owned the IP right on your punks, and that has been the reason recently, or the last couple of months, for a slow decline. They are now saying that they're looking into it to see if they're going to change it or not. Quite a lot of drama going on. They removed the V1 collection all the way from OpenSea altogether. So there's quite a lot of drama going on. However, historical value will always be there, as you said. And it is a massive status symbol. If you've got a hex on your Twitter proving that that's yours,
Yeah.
That really is a huge status symbol, and I think always will be. And these guys are the OGs of the space. They were airdropped free about 4 years ago, I mean, can you imagine how many people just lost their wallet, or because they weren't trading? There wasn't really
Yeah.
a market, or didn't even know
Didn't care
that they
about it or whatever.
didn't know.
Just yeah, it's crazy. And
And
look
now
at
it's
this
sitting.
thing. Look at this. That number just blow 8,000 ETH. Like that, just my eyes pop out of my head. That's crazy.
How
And
much
that
is
was just
that? About
8,000
20
ETH. If we just do the
$20
quick
million,
calculator.
right?
Yeah,
28,
something like
16, 24 million.
let's see. Yeah, let's do the
Yeah,
quick maths. Yeah.
no, it is $24 million
Yep.
for that. It's incredible. And if anyone doubts the space, that's a sale. That's not the floor price. And like
No,
obviously
that's
the
a
floor price we
sale.
said
Yeah.
is about 70. That is a sale. Someone paid for that. CryptoPunk paid that. Yeah, it's incredible. What trait are you looking under here?
This is the aliens. This is
Yeah, so that must
the
have been that one I was
it,
talking about, that
yeah,
sale the other day.
it was. Yeah, I think it was on February 11th that happened.
The
That
day
sale
before
happened.
my birthday. Thank you, Morland. Did you buy it
That
for
was
me?
yeah. I wanted to surprise you. I haven't dropped it in your wallet yet.
Please do it immediately. We'll stop the show and we'll wait until I confirm that it's in my wallet. Yeah, I mean, definitely the OG, not even a OG, definitely the OG. So, guys, the next one, and this is in no particular order, but it has established itself as a blue chip project. There was a lot of controversy when World of Women came out. It was quite hyped, the first female project, only to be discovered that the team was completely male, and was not female at all. And the floor price absolutely tanked, and then the project was taken over. So again, it just shows you, these projects, you got to give them time to sort out whatever may come their way. But I'll just show you what that looks like on the chart, what happened to begin with. So yeah, I mean, just to put this in perspective, 0.13. There was not one sale for 5 days. There's nothing going on there, right? That was when everyone found out that this was a woman. There wasn't one woman in this woman NFT, of the first woman NFT. And then you see, very similar to the Bored Apes, guys, it's a constant. Obviously there's a lot of flat here, stayed at around 2.5 ETH for a very long time. And then we had Guy Assery, who's the manager for Board Ape Yacht Club, be brought onto the team. And that's really what started this pump here, and really took it to the stratosphere. Currently has recovered from the 15 ETH high, sitting at about 10 Ethereum. Total volume traded, as you can see, 53,000 ETH, 51% ownership ratio. So the nice thing, I was in this project for quite a while. If you look at our background, you see my lady in the top corner there next to the Robotos. As Morland knows, I did sell this in order to get my Clonex. I then sold my Clonex in order to get 18 ETH. I'm now regretting that because the floor price is still sitting around 14, but the airdrop was worth 5, or was currently at 5. So, I'm actually sort of out an ETH or two, and I really want to get back into Clonex when I can, but I digress. What these guys, I have been in this community for quite a while. I have been out of it for a couple of weeks, but one of the things that is so cool is that they do all these collaborations and they airdrop these regularly. Now, none of them are at a massive floor price. I think the most is 0.1 Ethereum, but they really, here's one for 0.09, but they come regularly, and they really are good art pieces.
Really great art. Yeah, really sure. Well done. If I had that dropped in my wallet, like, that's cool.
So if you look at the older ones before my time, they're sitting very pretty here. Obviously, that's what people are asking, but the last sale was 0.3. The last sale on the very first drop, obviously there's some notoriety around that and historical significance, is half an ETH. So yeah, I still hold the ones that were dropped to me, which is from here, this one I've got, to here. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's really nice. Obviously, because 10,000 people get dropped the same artwork on Poly, it's not as nice as a unique NFT, but it's still very, very nice. Another thing that I really love about World of Women and enjoyed about their Discord is they were always organizing whitelists and collabs even before that became a thing. So now almost every project has got an alpha section. They're organizing whitelists and collabs. World of Women was doing that long before anyone else. That's actually where I got my Cool Pets whitelist from, was World of Women, and they would always get quite a big amount that you had a good chance of winning it. So there were a lot of, just from a user perspective, there were really a lot of nice perks about being in that Discord. On top of that, it's a great Discord. They are a really strong community. And they have got very, very deep connections in the NFT space with different projects, with different influencers. They really are well respected. And all these derivatives that we're seeing, I think derivatives is the wrong word, because a lot of these, any woman project, any project that has a PFP as a woman, I'm referring to as a derivative, and that's not completely correct. So Boss Beauties is one of them. We've got Crypto Chicks. Sad Girls Bar was another one that came out a little while ago. There's a lot, right? But this was the first, and this will always be known as the first. And that's what makes it, in my mind, a blue chip. Because when women are coming into the space, and currently the statistics are 90% of the NFT space is dominated by men, that will change, as it does. And as more and more women come in, they are going to want to be a part of the first woman project, right? It's only natural. And guys like me who are investors in the space want to own a part of the first woman project. It's got a huge historical significance. So I really like it. I just wanted to show you how many airdrops there've been. You did see all of them on that page that I was taking you to. They also obviously have an incredible Twitter following. And this is not, that's why, Morland, when we're covering these hot new projects and they're telling us they've got 120,000 people in the Discord, in their Twitter and in the Discord, it really is very unlikely.
It's hard to
Here's a
believe.
project that's been around since July 2021. It's one of the highest respected projects, and they're sitting with 110,000. Okay. So you got to keep that in perspective, and that's reflected in their floor price, right? So you tell me how these projects with 200,000 followers on Twitter are not even selling out a collection at zero point 0.1 ETH. It's just
Yeah.
not possible. But definitely always amazing stuff going on their Twitter. They really have their hands in a lot of pies. They're busy with a lot of things. They do have an airdrop coming up, or a new collection coming up, rather, called Wow Galaxy, which is really interesting. There's a proof of some of the connections in the space. And you can see there. I just want to show you this here. Don't know why it's not playing. All right, forget about that. But yeah, they've got this new collection coming out, which is going to be really, really cool, really sick. This was a partnership that they did with Top Dog Beach Club, which we should actually feature. I actually have one of them. Quite a cool OG project. I'll just read you here what it says. We always make it clear from the beginning that we are here for the long term. Yam and Raf are doxed themselves on the first day, and rumors say you could even see BBA and Chumai's real faces in Miami. The NFT game is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're ultra trailers. The past month have been full of incredible encounters with amazing people, intense discussions within the team, but also dozens of hours of brainstorming with one big question. What is the future for World of Woman? The answer is World of Woman Galaxy, our effort to bring World of Woman to the next level, creating an iconic global brand and making a statement not only in the NFT space, but also in the real world through multiple impactful actions and roadmap ideas. So they're rebranding. That's the first step to this next stage. I imagine how cool. And here's some of their merch. Imagine you get airdropped a 747 ball.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah, well, as long as it doesn't crush your roof. It will break your house. Obviously, they've always been very, very charitable. You can see, you can go through to their website. There's a whole lot of causes and charities that they cover. They're going to be introducing a DAO. And again, this isn't the same as these new projects that say they're doing a DAO. It's going to be a proper DAO that is governed properly and legally. And then Galaxy of Woman is going to be a 10,000 art original World of Woman NFT in existence, and there'll never be more. But the Galaxy is going to be another drop. Just trying to find what I saw. It's going to be released in 2022. It's going to be larger than the original collection of 10,000. Every World of Woman owner will be able to claim free. The new collection will come with exclusive benefits, but the original WoW holders will always be top tier membership. Certain amount of tokens will be reserved for this new collection, and so on and so forth. So a whole lot going on. If you want to look at their team, I mean, their team is well known by now, but this is what you want to see, really a big team and a very, very notable team, and a great project. So I think watch the space and don't sleep on this one.
Definitely. Yeah, like you said, it's got that that significance of being the first real woman themed and women led project. So it's I love it. Hopefully someday I'll be able to get in on the project.
For sure, but there's opportunities now, Morland, and I think this is important. Like when we were talking just randomly on Friday, not last Friday, the Friday before, about degenerative dungeons. And I said to you, I'm buying one because it's historical. It's the first on the chain game that you can play on your NFT. That's in 6 months, when there's a million of these that you can play on your NFT, will be the OG of that, right? So there is these new opportunities. So yes, we've missed the boat as far as the early entry on the first woman-led projects, but there is so much innovation in the space that there's constantly, like even now, Link's DAO for example, they're developing an in-person golf course that you will have ownership of, and that's just been released. Okay, it's now at half an ETH, but when it was released, it was whatever. So there is constantly those opportunities, and the problem is that not many people want to hold for long, and that's the mistake. They'd rather, even if they know a project is not great, if they can 2x and by all means 2x and get out, but still hold some of your blue chips. And I'm talking to myself because I sold this to get a newer project before I knew it was associated with Nike, which is the wrong call. I just lucked out on that one, right? That is not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is, if you own one of these projects, is to hold on to it with both hands. That's the bottom line. And if you don't, to keep your ear to the ground and to try and find the next real new innovative thing and get in at the ground and hold it.
For sure. Yeah. So speaking of innovative, our next one is CyberKongs. So CyberKongs was really the originator of giving holders a yield of token, some kind of token. And that token is used within their ecosystem. So they were the first ones to do that, the first ones to innovate that. Now there are a number of different projects that have that mechanic, whether it's just you get it for holding or something like Wolf Game where there's a game involved with it, but you're yielding a token. So CyberKongs were the first ones to do this. They're really leading the charge that way. And the original drop was only 1,000 of the OG CyberKongs. They're called their Genesis Kongs. There's only 1,000 of them. But these 1,000 produce 10 banana tokens a day. And with that banana token, you can either swap it out for cryptocurrency or cash it out, or use it within their ecosystem to continue to build out the CyberKong world. So by collecting your bananas, you'd be able to use their incubator system and create your baby CyberKong, which is a brand new NFT that you really didn't have to pay for. You use your bananas. It takes 600 bananas to do that. So you're basically getting a free NFT, and then you can do whatever you want with that. You can sell it on the secondary market, or you can hold it and continue to be involved in the ecosystem with that. So if you take a look at their OpenSea and just go to traits so that you can see the Genesis.
Yeah, that's important. You don't want to buy the baby by mistake.
Yeah. Or unless you just want to be involved with the ecosystem, right? The babies do get you in their sandbox ecosystem and in their CyberKong world. So, but
they don't earn bananas.
They don't earn bananas. No, they don't earn bananas.
And I have on smaller collections by mistake bought the baby, thinking I was buying into the main project.
Yeah.
Right. Thinking I was getting the main NFT that gets the token and whatever.
Gets the token. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you look at like their floor price, that's the price of the baby Kongs, right? So we've changed our search to Genesis. The lowest price Genesis is 80 Ethereum. Right, so these guys are producing that 10 banana token a day for the next 10 years. So you're just yielding that day in, day out. And when you actually take a look at the price of banana, it's at $16, almost $17 USD. And it's had quite a run up earlier in the year. It hit almost $100 per token, but that's huge, right? Like you're even with this, you're making $160, $170 a day for just holding that NFT for the next 10 years. So you can choose what you want to do with that. You can use the banana token within the ecosystem and create your baby Kong. And with that baby Kong, you could sell it, right? Let's see the activity on this. So there's still decent activity that happens, and you're going to get your spikes up and down, but last 7 days, right, there's 21 sales, 11 sales, 7 sales, 12 sales, and the average price is around that 8 to 10 Ethereum. So that's just a basically free NFT you're getting given to you that you can then flip or keep and use within the ecosystem. So they also have their CyberKong VX, which I believe you hold one of these, Philip.
Yeah.
And this was their drop for their 3D virtual reality metaverse. So these have been dropped already, and you can use them in any metaverse ready ecosystem. You actually put yours in your Clonex pod. Yeah, your Clonex pod. And if you guys want to check that out, you can hit the little thing up here, the eye. Eventually, we'll have it in there when we're not live. But yeah, these are really cool as well. So these are what you would use within their sandbox world, their metaverse world. So they're going for a little bit less, quite a bit less than the Genesis, but still gets you involved in the CyberKong's ecosystem, and you can be a part of the metaverse. They're part of Sandbox, and they have the land, they have their world built out, and just a solid, well thought out project. Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
guys. Like you see, like not that you wouldn't expect this to be copied. Like it's a great idea, so you would honestly expect to see other projects doing this. But the fact that they were the first ones to do it and to do it right is kind of a big deal. So,
For sure. I do want to say a couple of things. First of all, I calculated the 80 Ethereum floor price, which is actually, there was one, and then the next one was 85, the next one was 90. But 80 times 3,000 on average, what Ethereum is, it's $240,000 to get one of these bad boys. If we divide that by the $179 you're getting a day, plus minus, equals, it's going to take 1,340 days. So if we divide that by 365, just to see how many years, so it's going to take three and a half years. Obviously, if the price stays the same of bananas and whatever, which it probably won't, and you get that for 10 years. So yeah, from that perspective, it's good. There's only one caveat that I have. And
what's
that's
that?
I hope the Securities Exchange doesn't shut these guys down.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, in the end of the day, I've got to, if I see anything, and I'm not in any way saying anything, all I'm saying is that if I was the Fed and I was looking into this, these would come on my radar because they are really, really the biggest. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've done it.
The workaround is that it's yielding a token that is used within their ecosystem. It has no true like monetary. Well, it has monetary value, but it can be swapped. But it's not considered a security because you're not getting that. You're not expecting a return.
Until they realize
until they change the rules, until they change.
So that's the only thing. And personally, I mean, I think it's great. And there was a time when bananas were sitting at almost double. So it would take a year and a half to pay it off. But there is that risk, and people have to be aware of that. That with this particular project, I don't know how big the risk is. I have no doubt they've had top lawyers drafting it to make it as proper as possible, and I'm sure it is. But that is a risk, and we would be doing a disservice to our viewers if we didn't just point out that there is a slight risk that this could be a problem, right?
Yeah. And when you look at the activity, they aren't really selling the Genesis. The Genesis don't really sell. People that have those hold them, and I'm assuming just continue to create these CyberKong babies and flip them for ETH. I mean, honestly, that would be my strategy with this. Like if I could just collect 600 whatever, that's 60 days. Every 60 days you're going to be able to get your baby CyberKong, and then you could sell it for 8 to 10 Ethereum current floor price. So I don't know, it's a unique Very,
So it will
very
take
unique project too.
every 2 months you can get in, let's just say 10 ETH, so it's easy to work out. So it's going to take 16 months your way, opposed to and you're still earning your token, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But you're using your token to mint these guys.
mint them, yeah. So I don't know. I don't even hold one. So but that would
I
be
agree with
my
you. I would
that
do
would be
what
my
you say.
personal strategy of
For
that. So
sure, we can both dream that of strategies for this. The next project I just wanted to touch on, because we have covered it before, and Morland is going to link it over there after we're not live. But we'd be remiss not to mention our good friends Cool Cats. Cool Cats is really, the first sort of cartoony thick line art that you see. In a way, you could say, Doodles, which came quite a long time after, and all the similar sort of Lemon Friends and everything that we're seeing now with this thick line art, which is actually really doing very well at the moment. This is where it started. These are the OGs of that, right? So we've got Cool Cats here, a collection of just under 10,000 items, a 52% owner ratio. Floor price currently sitting at 10 Ethereum. The lowest I saw it in the last couple of months was 6 before the big pump in December, and the highest I saw it, and we can just check that, is I think 15, somewhere around there. All right, so the highest is more than that, 17.6, and the lowest that it was sitting at here was exactly 6.5. And I was really, and I have told you this before, Moland, I was seriously eyeing it out at this point. I really was at around this point
yeah.
or this point. I can't remember, but when it was about 6.5, thinking, geez, if what should I move around to get into this one? Because I really did realize the historical significance of this project. Being the first sort of fun, thick line, cartoony type art. So you've got Cool Cats again. You've got the same thing here, a real amazing community with a real sort of grassroots connection in other NFT communities. They recently did, and I'm sure everyone's well aware, the Cool Pets mint, that if you owned a Cool Cat, you got a Cool Pet dropped, you could mint it for free. If not, they did various collabs with a lot of projects to give out whitelist. And then there was also a public sale, which is currently obviously still ongoing because they 1,500 NFTs out, unless they have specifically reserved 1,500 for giveaways in the future. I don't know. So I mean, a nice 2.2 ETH present for you. I do think the pets are going to increase in value, and Morland covered it really nicely in the previous video because they're going to be used in their upcoming game. So I do think that if you're looking to get into this ecosystem, this is a great entry point, and it is a great ecosystem to be involved in, and it is a hang of a lot more affordable than the 10 ETH that you're seeing over here. We have seen a pullback in all the blue chips recently. There was a little bit more of a pullback, slightly more, because there was some issues with the Cool Pets mint initially. They did resolve all of that, and really just a great project all round. So please do check out that previous video because it is really, really one that you should have on your radar. And that follows us. I still can't believe that we're calling Doodles a blue chip because in my little bubble of my own experience, these are still the new boys on the block, the new kids on the block. This came out so recently. I know it's been a few months, but from the beginning, this, because of the founders behind it, they were, two of the founders of previous Dapper Labs, which anyone in the space knows, it really holds a lot of weight for their notoriety. You can see here, I mean, they've done 80,000 Ethereum versus Cool Cats 85,000, guys. And just like there's been talk about Bored Ape and CryptoPunks, who's going to overtake, we see here that Doodles has overtaken, which is just crazy. Doodles has overtaken Cool Cats. I think it's important to realize that the NFTs in any project, the NFT itself is just your ticket into the ball game. It's just your ticket into the show. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If you've got an amazing team behind it that's doing all the right things, you can have a pixelated punk sell for $50 million $200, which one has about 6 months ago, right? So, obviously you want to resonate with it and all the rest, but it truly doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter whether you like the look of a cool cat better or not. It's really about saying, okay, what do I think of the team? And both these teams are incredible. So, and that's why we've seen Doodles do what they've done. They're no longer a copy of Cool Cats or inspired by the Cool Cat art. They are forced to be reckoned with by themselves. By far, they also have created a whole new level of derivatives with this pastel type color, right? And so the cycle just continues, and maybe one of those derivatives of this pastel will turn out being good, amazing team, an amazing roadmap that delivers, and maybe they'll overtake, and they'll be skulls, and all of a sudden it will branch off into derivatives of skulls, right?
Well,
who knows?
What was the most recent
There
one
was
that just launched? Those skulls, those floating skull things.
Yeah, in the pastel colors. I know what you're talking about.
It's
I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, it's on
I don't know the name, but I
trending.
know it does. They are derivative, and who knows? I don't know anything about it. So I'm not saying they will, but it could. If the team is amazing behind the new derivative project, and doing a derivative is their entry into the NFT space to sell out a collection to get the community and the budget to move forward, then so be it. And that's what happens. So that's what we've seen here. If we go back to activity, let's just see exactly when they launched all time. So we're looking here. They launched October the 15th. Like I said, it's not as recent as I thought. Again, you are seeing for 3 months. That's what I've always said. Give a project 3 months. For 3 months, there was very little. Okay, some bumps. And this was from the beginning with a fully doxed, notorious team who have experience and connections in the space. And people were skeptical even then. And you see it there. And then we've just had this rise as of late, which is just incredible. They have come down off their high and hit as high as 21. So it is substantially down. But again, they were sitting close to 3 for the longest time and went all the way to 21. And I do know some people that sold out at 3.5 or something because they had bought in at 1.5.
Oh, man.
And who sometimes regrets doing that because he would have been the type of person that would have sold at 20. But we won't mention any names, right, Norland?
No, my lips are sealed.
Yeah, so this team has a lot of experience in building things. There's a lot still to come from this project. You can see here an incredible real Twitter following of 226,000. They are saying now that they're going to be relaunching Doodle Space, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, cool.
And I'll just read this to you. Space Doodle is the first venture into the cosmos to spread joy and creativity. It's the first small step in unveiling our universe to collectors with dozens of spacecraft designed by Burnt Toast. What is your doodle in search of? Where is he going? How many other doodles are near you? Your doodle is the answer to all these questions. All doodlers will be able to claim their own unique spaceship. Claiming a ship means your doodle becomes a space doodle, but don't worry, it can always return safely from space and become a doodle again. So there's going to be aircrafts for it. Sorry, the reading is quite hard when you've got all these lights pointing at you. I can barely see. But yeah, so that's what's happening here. They've got this collection coming out. I really want to watch. This is not just a random pump that we've seen. This is because the team behind this project is delivering and is still going to be delivering for a long time to come. They are very, very capable and they are very, very dedicated to the project.
Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorites. I remember when it was minting, I was like, I should mint this, but I didn't have much liquidity at the time. But I just love it. I think it's great. Like the art really for me, I love honestly any of them. I would take a floor one. I wouldn't. I would love to have a doodle. I just like I don't know why that quirky art style really speaks to me. And then I didn't know about the space stuff. Like that's awesome. Like that's really, again, forward thinking and planning for the future in the space. So
Sure.
good on them. All right, so the next one, definite blue chip here, and NeoTokyo, NeoTokyo citizens, and all the components and pieces that kind of go into this world that's been created by Alex Becker. So Alex Becker is just a machine in the space. So he's highly respected and followed on Twitter and in the NFT and crypto space. He has almost 8,000 or 800,000 followers on Twitter. And I remember when this project was launched, it was difficult to get in on it. You needed to solve riddles and puzzles, and they were dropping clues on Twitter. And personally, I just said, forget it. I don't want to do that. Am I regretting that? 100%. When you take a look at just their citizens, which are, I believe, involved in some kind of game. I think, honestly, guys, I can't even find a website for this project. It's super secretive, but Alex Becker is gaming. He's looking to create gaming. He's looking to create blockchain and NFT. He's an innovator in the space, and the fact that it's his project, just, you want to bet on people, right? So with that
How much was
said,
that, Citizen? You said 17 ETH. That's cheap.
17. Yeah,
I'm being serious.
yeah, the activity for sure is at one point, average price on this day was 110 ETH.
Yeah,
That was in
that's
the
what I'm
last 10
saying.
days. Yeah, 90, like seven,
Wow,
like
but
this
that
is
chart
insane.
is all over the
All
place, bro.
over the place. So that's what
That's a flipper's dream. That
yeah.
is a flipper's dream. Buy in at 17 and a half. Okay, it's a lot of money. Sell at 30. Who cares? It's still 12 ETH. And buy it again. I mean, that's incredible.
So you can see
Whoa.
this
It's
is the
this
all-time
is
chart, just the ups and downs. Like at
wow.
one,
I've never
right
actually
here,
seen
look
a
at this.
chart like that.
There was a
One
sale. There was a sale for 0.001.
Okay, that could either be a
November
mistake
15th.
or sometimes people, that's how they trade it with each
Trick.
other or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. But
So
yeah, it's
maybe,
something
yeah.
something very unique with this project,
Just
guys.
go
Like
back to the
it's
items here because I want to see how thin this floor is because
oh
17
let's
ETH,
see.
17 ETH is really for this project. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. Let's just have a look here. So you've
So
got one at 17. Just read it to me. I can't see too
there's
well.
17.9,
Yeah.
17.95, and then it jumps to 20. And then
Yeah,
from
exactly.
20 jumps to 22, and then from
Yeah.
22 jumps to 24, the very next one.
Wow.
25, 27, 27.
So there's 12 that take you to 28 Ethereum as a
Yeah, let's
floor. I
see
mean,
here.
that's incredible.
And there's only 2,000 items, and there's 1.9
Wow.
owners, right? So not many people sell this thing, or
That,
like
that's
it's a
really attractive. I'm
it's
being
a
serious.
it's a community, that a strong community, and that's what I'm saying about Alex Becker. Like the fact that it's his project, the community behind it just fully trusts him. Here, Alex, take our ETH and just guide us to the promised land. Like that's the appeal of this project, really.
Okay,
Personally,
so that's the citizens. And then,
I don't know if I like the artwork, but again, it's not necessarily about that. And then
yeah.
you get deeper into into their I ecosystem, and they have these identity cards, um, and then
Well, that just proves
vault
that it's not about the
cards.
art, right?
Yeah, look, these are
14
all
ETH.
look like code. It's all code. And this is part of how like things were delivered to you, was in coding and mysterious clues and stuff. So when you have these things, they combine together. So this outer identities, this card would be used to combine with an outer citizen items and land to upload and mint a Neo Citizen Tokyo sorry, NeoTokyo Citizen, outer citizen, outer citizen. So there's a gamification to all of this, collecting the identities, having the vault cards, having these regular identities that you need to pair with the outer ones. So and it's all very cryptic as well. So I'm sorry that I couldn't deliver more on it,
but you haven't cracked the code.
I haven't cracked the code. Yeah, but again, the reason that we are considering this a blue chip is not just because of the price, but because of who's behind it and what they plan on delivering with this.
And what they've delivered to date.
And you
started off with the OGs there, with the identities, and all of this has come after, and they will continue delivering. I mean, he's incredible. He's got a huge following, and very well respected. Yeah, it's a cool project. I've spoken a lot about the last one for tonight, Clonex. All right, so guys, Clonex. Before, when it was launched, there was a lot of hype for this project. And then once it was launched, there was a lot of FUD, because after mint, like almost the day after pre-sale mint, they came out and said, hold on a second, 1,500 of these 20,000 NFTs are not, you do not own IP rights for them. Right. And it was sort of weird, because this was after the fact and people were angry. I was in that Discord. People were angry. I had not bought in yet, but people were upset. Now, I'd been watching the project and I wanted to get in, and it was a risky move because there was no mention or any leak of Nike. And now everyone's angry and selling. And I managed to get one at 2.5 Ethereum, right? Which was incredible. I think mint price, if I stand to be corrected, but I think mint price was like 1 or 2 either. I don't know, something crazy.
It was a Dutch auction, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that.
So you can see here they were launched only on the 12th of December, and that just shows you the power of a brand like Nike. And even here, the floor price 4.3, and yeah, almost instantly, the Nike news came out, and all of a sudden, those few guys who were so angry about IP realized that they had made a mistake in selling. The reason for the IP was that Nike's lawyers had gotten involved, and it said, look, the 1,500 with this trait, with this particular trait, that we're going to use for our commercials and our whatever, and therefore we're not going to be paying royalties to Philip every time we use one of those 1,500. So they had to change that in order to get the Nike deal through. And again, when you look at their terms and conditions over here, just want to show you. Owned content here. Legal, right? So you go to legal. Now, guys, this is probably the most bullish sign you can ever have for a project. When you see a legal document and worded properly like this and read through it and pretty much don't understand any of it, that means that there's a big legal team behind it. And that usually means that there's a collab in the space, right? There's another legal document here, a different one. So this is the commercial right legal document, right? And this was there from the beginning, right? So this can be a good sign. I'm saying next time you see something like this, and I hope there's no ruggers watching that just start putting documents on their website, legal documents, so that Philip and Morland.
You've given the scammers a great idea.
Yeah, but that is just a little trick. If you do see something like that in the description of every item, and you have to sign over surety when you purchase it, it's probably going to be doing a collab with a big brand. So yeah, we got Clonex, and these guys, since the Nike deal, they went all the way up to 8 ETH immediately. I was sitting there saying to Morland, should I sell? Should I sell? And I was waiting for it to hit 20 ETH. We had never seen a brand the size of Nike buy an NFT collection. I mean, I really thought it would go higher. So I missed selling it at the high because I thought it would go higher than 8. It then went to 7. It then went to 6. And it then rested around 4.5 Ethereum for quite a while. Guys, like everyone knew about Nike, and it stayed there. So let's just go back to that chart for you so that you can see the storyline. So here, 7, 8, 11. No, I'm talking about before that. I'm talking, where was it
You want to
sitting?
go? You're at last 90
yeah.
days. You're on last 90 days.
I think it only launched. Let's just see. No, it only launched.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I think I'm talking about either here. No, that's too high. 5, 5.3, average price 6. Okay, so stayed pretty flat for a while, even here, and then started pumping. So what they've done is they have, forget all the legal jargon, right? Sorry, guys. Just first of all, you bought the mint files if you were whitelist. And there's some people that haven't even opened those mint files yet. So this could be a rare. And, if you're a statistician or something to that effect, you could probably look at what's already out there and say how many rares are in here. So the floor price on the unopened vials that give you a Clonex is 30 Ethereum, which is quite incredible. There are 552 owners, 555 items. And yeah, these guys took a massive risk because, this has also fluctuated and they've got, excuse the French, but balls of steel, to be quite honest, to hold on like they have. Obviously, guys who know the space and know that as this number comes down, these will rise unless you're the last 5 and it's shown that there's no rares in those 5, in which case it will go to the floor price of the original collection. But just interesting because the mint files have got their own ecosystem and are highly sought after. Everyone's chasing that rare. And then the first drop that they did, the very first drop, was the space pod. We've done an entire feature on it, so I'm not going to cover it, but please do check it out. And it really is so cool. Floor price sitting at 1.35 Ethereum, completely free, completely airdrop, no noise about it. But the second airdrop, they made a big noise and they let everyone know that if you own a pod, you'll be getting another pod, which is this guy over here. And you can see currently sitting at a 0.8 floor price, so just under an ETH, 20% under an ETH, so 0.8. And this is an addition to your pod. And this is called the Loot Pod. And we did a feature just on the Loot Pod, which you got to watch because it's incredible and it connects to your pod. And just as they were doing drops for the pods, they were doing drops for the Mint Vial collection. And then for the main collection, they've dropped this mysterious box to 8,700 people. And everyone is waiting to see what's inside. And every day, sort of like NeoTokyo, like you were saying, Moreland, they're giving people different quests and different things, which unfortunately I don't have time to work out, right? I did sell my Clonex before the drop, and to get back into the ecosystem, I don't know if you know this, Moreland, but I bought the box.
No, I remember you showed it to me. I remember you showed
so
me.
I bought the box, and I'm waiting to see. I just think this is the first one with the actual Nike logo on, because the main Clonex collection is only the RT KFT, because there was no Nike when it launched originally. So that's going to have some value. And we've seen that Nike is not in the business of disappointing, right?
Yeah,
with what they've done, yeah. And also what I looked at when I made that decision was I compared the floor price of the original Space Pod to the floor price of the Loot Pod, and it's about 65%. So going on that, if you say 65% of the Clonex floor price of about 14, you get to about an 8 ETH, 9 ETH value. So based on that, these guys might be very undervalued. They might not. I mean, no one knows what's in them, and I might be buying the hype, but I'm betting on Nike, and Nike have done well so far. They've done that by giving lots of free stuff worth a lot of ETH, and I think they don't want to stop. I think they want to continue making people happy, and so I'm looking really forward to getting something that's worth at least 8 or 9 Ethereum so that I can sell it and get my Clonex back.
That would be a nice little present. The heavens just open up and drop 8, 9 ETH in your lap, right?
Well, no, not the heavens, because I paid 5 ETH.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot.
So I've risked that. I've risked that. It could go to 3 ETH, in which case I've lost 2. But I'm betting on Nike, and I think it's as safe a bet as you get. Even if they were planning on disappointing us, now that they're seeing what's happening and how excited and how how well everything's being received, then maybe they'll that's why they're delaying. They're making something amazing for Philip, so that I can get some of that recovered ETH back that I forfeited by selling my
It would be
Clonex.
it would be really cool if it was something you could add to your pods, like a figurine, a statue, or something. That would be
I want
cool.
more.
Oh, more
I don't
even.
know. I
Okay.
want more than that, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to be separate to the pod ecosystem. I don't know, bro. Your guess is as good as mine.
Well,
I
they're
did
trying
look up.
to. I don't know. I would, if I was creating an NFT collection, I'd want everything to somehow be
Tied together.
interconnected,
Yeah,
right? So
100%.
I don't
I don't
know.
know, bro. Look, I'm happy to be in it. There's one thing I want on it. Really, I'm being dead serious. I want the Nike logo on it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm betting on. The fact that the Nike logo is on the box, the value for me, not for me personally, I think the value in this collection is that historical significance that we've been talking about throughout today's show, that this will be the first Nike branded NFT. And all I'm gaining that from is this box with the Nike and the RTFKT logo on it. The other
Yeah.
thing is I did look up, oh, sorry, I didn't even realize. I did look up the MNLTH, and that stands for ancient stone, and they do have this picture of a stone. So what you're saying about this, the statue that can go in your pod is probably correct, my bro.
It's
As
gonna be a.
long as that statue has got the Nike logo on it, for
It's gonna
me
be a
personally.
chunk of shungite stone.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know what that is, but
I don't. What is Shanghai?
Oh, it's just it's like a chunk of like black stone or something, and it's a joke. If you ever watch Dr. Disrespect, the streamer, he makes jokes about it, and it's supposed to like heal you or keep your energy or something. I don't know. It was just a big joke on the
No,
on the
that's all
internet.
right.
So
As
if
long
anyone gets that reference, let us know in the comments, because
As long
I'll
as
get a
the
kick out of
stone, your
that.
stone, my stone has got Nike on it, I think that I've done it well in purchasing it at the current floor price. If not, then we'll see. It's not going to go to zero. We know that.
No,
So
definitely not.
interesting,
No.
and we'll keep you updated on that. So, guys, it's been an amazing show. Tomorrow is Freestyle Fridays. Moreland and I just chat NFTs. There is no script. We, like tonight, we knew we had to cover these projects. Tomorrow, there's nothing. You come on the chat, ask us to look into projects, ask us anything that you want, and we'll be able to answer you tomorrow. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. We're going to be doing NFT giveaways. When we get to 1,000 viewers and we 200 off roundabout, we're going to be putting an NFT, either give it away straight away, like a competition with our viewers, or we're going to hold it and keep adding to it a few NFTs every time we hit milestones. We'll decide. Maybe we'll just give it away, in one of the shows or something. But like us, subscribe us, join our Discord, and tune in tomorrow to chat NFTs to us, where we can take your questions and answer you properly.
See you guys tomorrow. Peace, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.